Welcome to another episode of Other Side News. Hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. I'm Wesley.
I'm Will.
And today we want to talk about all the Star Wars news that's happened since we've been off. Starting, of course, with the sad passing of Carrie Fisher. She will be sorely missed by Star Wars fans worldwide.
Definitely me. It's my first crush.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Carrie.
Which brings up the question for me, in Rogue One, we got to see the CGI characters that they were able to put together. One of those being Peter
Cushing, yes,
as Grand Moff Tarkin. And it made me wonder, is that something you think they're going to do in Episode 9 if...
No.
You don't think we'll see a computer animated general... Organa?
Maybe they would consider it for a moment, but I don't think that's a very good idea. Too soon.
Moving on to
Rogue One. Rogue One. Sure, if you were interested in seeing it, you've seen it by now, so we're just going to talk freely about Rogue One.
Yeah, we spoil the shit. Not
just what we liked, what we didn't like, and more so what we learned from Rogue One that Disney can do moving forward with Star Wars.
Right.
I mean, for me, it was great seeing Rogue One and finally having the joke that's been going on ever since A New Hope came out with the little exhaust port and firing the torpedo.
Why would
no
they
one
design it
noticed
like that?
It was great to learn that, well, it gets designed that way if you kill the engineer's wife and make him think his daughter's dead. If you piss off your lead engineer, you might have something like that happen.
It's an inside job.
Yeah, so that was great to learn that that's how it came about.
Now, before we go into, because this is a question I've got actually for a lot of people, and you can put your comments, or the answer in our comments. Did you go home and watch Episode 4 right after you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Does it make Episode 4 seem a little more intense now?
Yes, it does.
Just the intro, I mean. It adds a little more.
It does. It was, and that's what I thought when I was, watching.
Hats off to Rogue One.
That's what I thought when I was watching the end. As soon as that happened, as soon as the blockade runner took off, I was like, I gotta go watch Episode 4.
So did I.
Because they didn't get away for very long, and that was enjoyable. Loved seeing Darth Vader. I think he was in it the perfect amount. Any more would have been overkill. Mm-hmm. He was used well. And some of the other cameos, I heard a lot of people use the word fan service, and I think they're using it wrong. Because I don't take fan service in a movie made by someone for fans of a property.
Exactly.
I don't take that bad as if it makes sense. Bail Organa being where he was made perfect sense. It's his daughter that he sends. C-3PO and R2-D2, yep, they'd have been there. All of that stuff made sense. To me, fan service is when you put Pyramid Head in Silent Hill Homecoming. He doesn't serve the story in any way. And it cheapens his character to be there. Right. To me, that's pointless use. But for all the cameos I saw in Star Wars, and the Walrus guy and Will Wanted Men, whatever the hell his name was, seeing them was a little odd, but it was kind of a nice little throwback,
And using footage of Gold Leader. And
yes, that was brilliant.
I thought that was really cool.
And made you care about their characters a little more in A New Hope.
Yeah, it just showed, we've been around, we've seen some things, and, so it gives a little more depth to their characters. One of the other things...
The mention of Obi-Wan.
Yes. One of the things that I found fascinating, and I didn't know if they did this accidentally, if it was just a missed editing opportunity, but it seemed like every world, because in Rogue One they hop from a lot of different planets are involved, a lot. When they get to Mustafar, it's obviously Mustafar, it's Darth Vader's castle, we know this, I wanted to see Darth Vader's castle for freaking years. But they don't put Mustafar, and they don't say Darth Vader's castle, which makes me wonder if they were trying to keep it somewhat muted because it's going to be in Episode 8, because I was wondering if that's where Kylo Ren's training is going to take place.
Maybe.
But anyways, I thought that was interesting that of all the titles, that one was excluded. What did you think of the CGI?
The CGI on...
Grand Moff Tarkin was back.
Yeah. The CGI on Tarkin, I thought... There was really only one shot where I thought it looked a little off and he looked like a cartoon character. I think it's when he was yelling.
Like a video game.
Yeah, and that was the only time. I mean, they put him in shadow a lot, which I think really helps when you're taking when you're putting in a CGI character that's not an alien. You're trying to pass them off as a real person. Overall, I thought it looked good. I thought Leia looked better at the end, but for how much they had him interacting with other people, I thought they did a really good job with it. There, like I said, there was really only one part where I think it was his eyes got too big or something. It was just, I was just like, whoa. It was like I was watching Roger Rabbit. It looked a little, Judge Doom.
Yes, it did.
For a minute there.
So what did you think, though?
Of the overall movie, I thought it was a good Star Wars movie. And, you know, everyone's free to their own opinion. You can disagree if you want, but if you disagree, I don't know why you would. Unless you just hate Disney and want to hate on it since they bought Star Wars, which a lot of people want to do. They just want to hate on Disney, or they want to hate on Star Wars, or whatever, you know, because people find that fun. But I thought it was better than any of the prequels, in my opinion. Wasn't better than any of the original trilogy. But I would put it where it fits in. It seems it fits in the storyline. It makes sense. There were a couple parts that were a little slow, but I don't mind because you were building character development for this very real Suicide Squad, and that to me was an explanation for the slow parts. It's like, none of these sons of bitches are getting out alive, so we got to make you care about them in a short amount of time. He was my favorite character. I loved that robot. He was the perfect comic relief. Very, very nicely done, and very capable too. You know, he was very useful. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. It told a good story. Yeah. You know, when you go into A New Hope and you see the opening text scrawl of, you know, the rebels have won their first victory, it's really cool having seen that battle now. You can see the battle they're talking about.
And that's hats off
and how much they had to give up for that victory.
That's hats off to the directors. Hats off to the movie because it does fit in perfectly. My one problem was, if you've read the novel Catalyst, which takes place before, obviously, Rogue One, there's so much extra character detail that was left out. You don't get to see the relationship between Krennic and Galen's, how they were working together, how long they've known each other.
Yeah, it seemed like they were friends in the flashback.
Yeah, they had gone to school together, and you know, and Catalyst, it's a great book, but you also get to see when Grand Moff Tarkin takes over the Death Star and takes it from Krennic. Well, he's all pissed off, but you don't get the depth.
Yeah, that he was in it from day one.
Yeah, he's been working on it since it was just a ring, and the fact that they were working on the Death Star because they believed that Count Dooku was working on a Death Star somewhere else, and so it was like an arms race in the 1980s, an arms race, you know, like us versus Russia type thing, and they thought they had to build this battle station before
when really
the Separatists built it.
When really they're all working for the same guy.
And so Krennic goes through a lot of shit to get this project done, but also in the novel, Galen is a pacifist. He's not interested in the war. The only thing that he's interested in studying is kyber crystals, which you put in a lightsaber and stuff. And they didn't. There was so much cool detail that built up. So if you've read the novel, and then you go watch the movie,
you'll enjoy the movie even more.
Big time, because that whole scene, it makes a lot more sense why Galen's wife pulls the blaster on him and is going to take him out because she's had enough of his shit. Yeah. Because there's this dynamic between them, you know, in the novel, and he keeps trying to get rid of her and he basically sends her on a suicide mission in the novel. Anyways, that was the one thing that I just wish there was a little more dynamic between Grand Moff Tarkin and Krennic, so that I think it helped you understand more of why he was so pissed off. And it was really funny because some people have been posting pictures of the Death Star and how now there's that empty seat where someone's not sitting at that round table discussion, and they were like, that was Krennic's spot, but he's not here no more.
Yeah. Now, I will say, definitely for me, and I don't know how many other people felt this way, when I saw Darth Vader tearing ass through that hallway at the end of the movie, Disney, make a standalone Darth Vader movie and just take my money. That's all I have to say. Make that movie. You can have my money. And because I will see that movie.
That was really cool.
That was great because you've never seen Darth Vader that.
But it does make you wonder.
He was tired in the beginning.
He's tired.
He's tired.
Chasing these.
He's
guys
like, batteries on low. The stormtroopers that came with me. Take care of it.
It's like, if you're lifting them up to the ceiling and cutting them and stuff, why are you grabbing them by the hand? Yeah. But anyways,
that was awesome. Awesome scene.
A great movie. And I have to say, the space battle, I thought that nothing was going to compare to the Return of the Jedi space battle, because Return of the Jedi's battle at the end is just excellent. I have to give props to Revenge of the Sith. That opening space battle is great, but this one I just thought was far superior when they took those Star Destroyers and crashed them. I was just like,
the level
I got an idea.
Yeah.
And then the way Darth Vader shows up at the end like that, and it's just like, you guys ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Epic. It was epic. They did a great job.
It was very good. And going forward, it makes me think about
I'm all for fan service.
Their movies there can do going forward. Yeah, I'm for fan
well, I'm just saying people bitch and complain about all.
Well, if it makes sense, I'm fine. If it makes sense,
I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I can find good even in the prequels. So if you're gonna pop out a character here, it's like, oh look, there's Greedo. Oh look, there's even a bounty hunter movie. Of course, I'm gonna be excited to have Boba Fett in it. I just don't want a Boba Fett movie just about him.
Yeah, because that's where I want to go.
Because he's just a clone.
Going from
he's walking around talking to his dad's head.
Going from Rogue One and how it told a good story of its own, but it also filled in some missing pieces from Star Wars. It made me think, where can you go from here? The Han Solo movie, I hope it shows him why Chewie owes him the life debt.
Oh, they have to. Most definitely.
I hope they show the relationship between him and Lando. That will be interesting stuff.
Yes.
Especially if they show him getting the Millennium Falcon. That'll all be good stuff.
I would start the movie with Han Solo winning the game against Lando and getting the Millennium Falcon.
That would be great.
I'm just saying.
That would be great. But yeah, as far as Boba Fett goes, cool looking character, but putting him in an ensemble movie. Other bounty hunters. That would be great. And because with that movie, you could end it.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, because that movie, you could end it.
Just send me my check in the mail.
You could end it with them getting a call, like they're working for Jabba the entire movie or whatnot, or they're doing different odd jobs, but then at the end they get the call from Jabba that the Empire wants to see you. Which one? All of you. And then that could end with them going on to the Star Destroyer.
Well, you could even showcase like IG-88's on his mission. Boba Fett's doing something with Dengar, another mission.
Yeah, and that would make it interesting.
I'm naming all the bounty hunters that were on Empire Strikes Back. Have them all on a separate mission and they all descend.
Yeah, they all come together at the end. That would be
But
really
the other
cool.
thing I was wondering is, do you think they're going to do a Rogue One 2? I don't know if they could call themselves Rogue One though.
Rogue 2? About the Bothans.
Yeah, the Bothans.
Maybe, but I think that would be redundant. I don't think you do that story, because I think it probably ends up roughly the same. She even said many Bothans died, so it didn't turn out too well when they got...
I'm kind of interested, though.
Their plans... It could be interesting, but I think if you do something like that, then you just make Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Just the movie. You just make the movie that takes place in between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Which was the question that I had.
And you make it.
That was the question I had when I saw Rogue One and seeing Grand Moff Tarkin was... Can they get to the level when you do a Shadows of the Empire?
And you can have Luke,
yes,
Han.
we can have a young Luke and a young Han again.
Yeah.
I mean...
Maybe.
What did you guys all think about the CGI?
But, yes, and speaking of the split-off movies, Han Solo, Boba Fett, finally, I guess there are rumors of a Yoda, which I'm excited about. But the one I haven't, if it comes to be, but the one I haven't heard anything about that I want more than anything is Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan, in my opinion, is the most integral part of Star Wars. Nothing happens from Phantom Menace to Return of the Jedi without Obi-Wan.
Right.
He's the catalyst for so many major events, and you already have a built-in antagonist for him in Darth Maul. I mean, the Clone Wars cartoon is canon. Yep. Star Wars Rebels is canon. All this stuff is canon.
In Clone Wars, Darth Maul's brother finds him, and he's got robotic
legs. Yeah, he's alive.
And so they've brought Darth Maul.
And he fights Obi-Wan a couple of times. They have this thing going. Last time Obi-Wan saw him, he killed one of Obi-Wan's friends in front of him.
And not only is Darth Maul in Clone Wars, but he's made it into Star Wars.
Yes, in Rebels. Well, so. Messing with Ezra.
Darth Maul lived.
And in the lead-up, the mid-season trailer, what do they show? Obi-Wan facing someone with a red lightsaber. Doesn't show the face, but I'm assuming it's Darth Maul.
Because Darth Maul's finds out that Obi-Wan's still alive.
If that's the case, do it as a teaser in Rebels. Please, Disney, do not kill this antagonist that actually has a history with who could be a main character or one of your movies in a fucking cartoon. Can we please have that on the big screen?
Well, I mean, they can still have a great Obi-Wan movie without Darth Maul, because if you've read the Marvel Star Wars comics, the Obi-Wan issues was just him, and I can't remember what issue it was, but there's a good one with him and young Luke. They're great. And I think that would be a great cast, a young Luke Skywalker. And I think in the comics, maybe he's like 10 years old, if that.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool. I think that would be
fun.
Well,
I think you could still make a good movie, but I just think it would be more poignant, especially since, you have the question of how did Obi-Wan find out that Anakin survived? Now, in Legends, we had that answer. Where Obi-Wan was in Mos Eisley, he was just having a drink or whatever, and he heard a pilot talking about the Empire attacking Kashyyyk, and this Sith Lord named Darth Vader killing all these Jedi and all these Wookiees, and Obi-Wan lost his fucking mind, because that was the first time he knew that Anakin lived.
Right.
He suspected, because he could feel something was off, but that's how he found out, and he panicked, because he was like, well, shit, I brought his kid to Tatooine, he's gonna come here, and that's finally when Qui-Gon appeared to him, and told him, no, he's never gonna come here. But in canon, we don't have that story yet. And I think that would be nice to put into that movie to show, I don't know, just more building on Obi-Wan's transformation from Revenge of the Sith to when we see him again in A New Hope. He is a very different person. He doesn't even refer to himself as a Jedi anymore. Right. He tells Luke, I was once a Jedi Knight like your father. So I think it'd be interesting, and I just think Darth Maul would be a great catalyst, and I just think if you're gonna finish off that character, who I didn't even like Darth Maul that much when he appeared in Phantom Menace. Thought he was a cool looking guy that put on a great fight, but in the end had one line of dialogue that wasn't even his own voice, like 4 scenes, and then he died. So I didn't think he was that great. Dooku left more of an impression. But with everything they did in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, I like this character now, and I don't want to see him finished off in a cartoon. I'd love to see both Ewan McGregor and Ray Park brought back. So they're not too old yet.
That's your stand. Yeah, that's your
they're not too old yet.
No,
that's the one I want. I want Obi-Wan.
That's your standalone.
The only one I want more than Obi-Wan is this motherfucker right here, because he's been in 5 movies, and we don't even know what species he is.
No, actually, mine would tie into him, because I would like to see an Old Republic movie. I would like to, or like Sith. I really want to know more about the Sith. Why the rule of 2. And so that would be a fun Star Wars movie to me. Something that doesn't have any Skywalkers in it.
So you want to do Bane?
I want to go old. Yeah, I want to go old school, pre-Palpatine, all that shit.
Bane would be interesting.
Go, the birth of the Jedi, which there's been a lot of talk of Luke Skywalker in Episode 7. He was on, supposedly, where he's at is the original Jedi Temple or Birth of the Jedi area. I'm hoping that they do something old school that's not connected to any of the movies. I want some brand new characters, brand new planets. No, and
that would be cool. I mean, a Darth Bane, you could pull a trilogy out of that if you do the Rule of 2, because that covers the destruction of the Sith army and, you know.
In Star Wars Rebels, though, I also saw the Saw Gerrera, who was played by
Forrest
Whitaker, and he had the breathing apparatus, and he was taking a hit of something. I think you're trying to kill me. I know that wasn't oxygen he was breathing. No. I know drugs when I see it.
I don't know. Well, he said that octopus could drive you crazy, so maybe it's something that octopus secretes, because that scene was weird.
In the new Star Wars Rebels trailer, he's, he doesn't have the fake legs, so I'm wondering where they're going with Star Wars Rebels. And that trailer was pretty awesome. Yeah,
and I really hope they do more with his character for that, because in that movie, I thought, that's a pretty high-profile actor you cast for do not much of anything.
Yeah.
So I do hope they build that character more, so it's...
And Saw Gerrera was another character that was a carryover from the Clone Wars. He got to train with... Well, didn't really train with Anakin Skywalker, but Ahsoka helped him and his planet. And so he carries over into Rogue One. We're going to get to see him a little bit in Star Wars Rebels, and Star Wars Rebels trailer looked really intense.
It did.
So I'm really looking forward to the second half.
I just hope they don't waste Darth Maul. Just like I hope Ahsoka can appear in a movie at some point, because if you waste Ahsoka Tano on that off-screen death, if she died, that'd be a waste. And in my opinion, if you do a Darth Vader solo movie, who better to pit him against? Yeah. You wouldn't have to do a lot of explaining to simply explain this is his former Padawan, or his former apprentice, for the casual audience, that is like Star Wars but didn't really watch the Clone Wars animated series, doesn't really know who she is. It wouldn't be very hard to simply explain, this is who Anakin was training before he went all douchey and killed all the Jedi.
No. And if you've not got into Clone Wars, the animated series, you can go on Netflix and check them out. I would just
entire thing
with season 3, 4, and 5, and because season 5 is the shit.
Yeah, season 5 is great, and season 6 that Netflix finished.
Yes.
was excellent as well.
So what standalone Star Wars movies would you like to see? You can put that in our comments below. And any other Star Wars last minute?
No, nothing I can think of. I mean, Disney, don't waste a good character in your cartoon. Okay, you can put them all in another movie, please. Well, can we have to put some footage on here just to make sure you see this, Disney? I want you to see this.
They watch all of our videos anyways. My only gripe right now in the Star Wars universe is I'm losing my patience. I'm wanting to know what the hell is Star Wars Episode 8. By this time, we already knew what the hell it was called Force Awakens, and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm tired of calling it Star Wars Episode 8. Give me that damn title. I don't want to wait till April.
Okay, then Star Wars Episode 8, The Force hits the snooze button.
Whatever. I'm Wesley.
We're out.